back, everybody. I'm going to take an opportunity here to talk about something that's relevant right now. I'm Larry Wilder. I'm a lawyer here in Jeffersonville, and we've kind of had this Larry the Law Guy thing going, and then we slowed down because, well, the campaign started and politics was going on. I just wanted to step back and give everybody a chance to pay attention to that. But now what we need to pay attention to is what's happening around us relative to the law, and what's important to most of you all, or some of you all, is what's happening in the court systems. So what I'm telling you is we've now embarked upon what I'm calling COVID 2.0 in the courts. And if you remember back when COVID started hitting us pretty hard in April and May, we talked about the courts shutting down, closing down. Only thing was happening were constitutional matters where someone's freedom was at risk, protective orders, things that the Constitution guaranteed you had an opportunity to participate in. Well, the Supreme Court ordered that in the first COVID orders, but now what's happened is last week the Supreme Court entered another order. Basically, that order is not quite as forceful as the order from last year. It's called what I call COVID 1.0, but the COVID 2.0 order says that courts should basically do the things that they were told they had to do back when it started in April. So what we are at now is a place where you, if you have a court case, need to know what's happening in the county where your case is pending, because it's a county by county thing now. And I will tell you that I know that personally from having just today been to one county, Harrison County, where everyone had to be there. All the clients had to be there for initial hearings, pretrial conferences, anything they had scheduled. If they weren't there, they were considered to have failed to appear, and a warrant was going to be issued for their arrest. Now, the court set up and the courtroom set up in a very socially distanced, conscientious way. Everyone has a mask on. After everyone came and went from the various places they had to be, there was someone that came in and disinfected. So it was handled in a very conscientious, very positive, for health purposes way. But the court and the judge determined that they felt like that the should meant that you should do things, but they chose to do them the way they were going to, which was an effort to make sure that people had court, they were in court, but they were protected and their health was protected along with it. In Clark County, Indiana, unless you have a bond hearing and you're in jail, unless it's a protective order, unless it's what is considered a constitutionally protected right that is at risk, everything's happening by Zoom. Had a bond hearing by Zoom the other day, pretrial conference by Zoom the other day. I had a case in north of Indianapolis. In the court in Noblesville, which is Hamilton County, we had a pretrial conference. All the lawyers called from their different offices. I'm involved in the case with a lawyer from Indianapolis, lawyer from Noblesville. I was here in Jeffersonville. Prosecutor was there in Noblesville. And we did a phone conference on Zoom. Our client zoomed into the courtroom. The judge was in court. The judge was there and conducted the proceeding in the courtroom with everyone remotely. That's the decision as to how they're handling that in Hamilton County. I've not been to Floyd County yet. I don't have to be there till tomorrow, but I'll find out before I go. Do we go? Do we call in? Is it by Zoom? How are we handling it based upon this new order that it's should do certain things rather than shall do certain things? Scott County, Indiana, Scottsburg. I had a full-blown custody hearing, all on Zoom. All the witnesses were zoomed in. We did everything remotely. So what I'm wanting you to understand is this. If you have a court case, you need to call your lawyer and find out, do you have to be there? Do you need a Zoom link? A Microsoft Teams link, or whatever devices that court's using? Or do you need to physically be there, mask on, prepared to socially distance, because the courts are all being very conscientious about separation and distances in the courtrooms and the courthouses. So you need to make sure you know what applies to you in the court that you're in. So what I'm going to suggest is this. Contact your lawyer. Don't take anything for granted about not being there or whether you have to be there. Get online if you don't have a lawyer. See if there's a link for that particular court. Everybody's doing things the way they feel is the most appropriate for the situation that they're in their county. Finally, what I'm going to tell you is this. This is real. The virus is real. We're into the last quarter mile of a 1 mile race, and you got to get to the end to get over the finish line. So let's be smart about it. Let's wear our masks, wash our hands, make sure that you disinfect all your devices, make sure that when you come home from where you've been, you wash off and clean off your computer, you wash off and clean off your cell phone, your car keys, make sure you're doing those things, because people are dying. I know too many people that have died, and none of us want to be responsible for being asymptomatic carriers who gave it to somebody we love, gave it to somebody we know, and we don't want to be that person. So be conscientious, be vigilant, be smart about what we're doing. If you got court cases, contact the court, contact your lawyer, find out whether you need to be there or whether you need to figure out how to Zoom, My Teams, or FaceTime. Now, I'm Larry Wilder. I'm a lawyer. I've given you no legal advice. Anything I said was just me talking to you folks out there, because if you need legal advice, call your own lawyer, contact a lawyer. But I appreciate you listening to me. We're going to do more of this now because, well, I'm stuck here at home kind of like everybody else, more or less. This is my office now. We're going to talk about the things we promised we'd talk about before everybody got caught up in political campaigns and elections. Thanks for listening. Larry the Law Guy, Larry Wilder, lawyer in Jeffersonville, Indiana. Have a great, safe day. Be vigilant, and we're going to get through this. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. Thank you.